Welcome back to How to Souls. My name is Rach and today we're going to start something completely new for a lot of people because a lot of people missed this one out because you listened to lies that told you that Dark Souls 2 was rubbish. But honestly, this is one of my favourite games in the series. I mean, every game in the series is one of my favourite games in the series, but that aside, welcome to Dark Souls 2. We're going to be playing Scholar of the First Sin, purely because it's not actually my favourite of the two, but I do think more people sort of own this version. This is the version that you will get on PlayStation 4 and above, Xbox One and above, and if you were to buy it on Steam, like, today. The original Dark Souls 2, like the vanilla edition, was on the PlayStation 3 and like the Xbox 360. You can't actually buy that anymore, unless I'm mistaken. So I thought we would start things off, we'd do a walkthrough for Scholar, because it is the quote-unquote better version. I actually prefer the vanilla version, but like I say, I thought this would be the better one to do. So we're gonna kick things off, we're gonna jump into a new game. There's a really cool like intro cinematic that we're gonna watch, that I just think is just bonkers and makes no sense and is I guess they tried what they did with the first Dark Souls and they tried to make it very obtuse, but you'll see.
Perhaps you've seen it, maybe in a dream, a murky, forgotten land. A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything once branded, the symbol of the curse, an augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drang-Lake. Perhaps you're familiar? No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why. Drawn to a flame. Your wings will burn in anguish. Time after time. is your fate. The fate of the cursed.
Right. Well, I told you it was weird. I haven't watched that in so long. I really like it. I guess your character feels like he has a story, I suppose. We had a family and then oops, we're undead. That sucks. Better leave. We fall down a whirled pool and find ourselves here. Okay, so Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, pretty much every other game, if I'm not mistaken, starts off immediately with you making your character. But Dark Souls 2 makes you click onto the window. Dark Souls 2 makes you go through this little sort of very short prologue, so don't panic, you do get to create your character. It just makes you go through this initial area first. So yeah, like I said, don't panic. I had a proper panic when I first played this, and I was like, but I want to be a beautiful lady. I don't want to be whatever this guy is. I guess that's a big thing about this game as well, is it's got Hollowing's pretty brutal, both on your health, as you can notice on the top left there, and also on your appearance, because yeah, you get pretty ugly if you die in this game. There's a couple little things you can pick up in this area. There's a couple little enemies in this area, like you can target them and stuff. Don't punch them. You don't have any like weaponry or anything, and if you punch these little guys, they're gonna own you. So I don't advise it. I advise against it, really. We're just gonna go ahead and head towards the light, as is the video game way. There's a little path you can go through here, and you might think, oh, I'm gonna go explore, but then you see these giant footprints, and you think, hey, I'm a Dark Souls veteran. I played Dark Souls 1, or if you haven't, you can watch my walkthrough if you want to like get the experience that way. I'll link it for you in the cards above. How's that? Yeah, don't go that way. Yeah, if you've learned anything from these games, yeah, you see big footprints, yeah, don't bother. We're gonna just go towards the hut, and that is where we'll get another cutscene, and then we'll get to make our character and choose our class. Okay?
What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face. The face of the curse.
It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you?
You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes, you'll become one of them.
Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed.
What is your name?
I love it when creepy old ladies laugh at me. Try to recall your name. Well, my name is Rach. So we're gonna be really boring. Just call our character Rach. You can call your Sir Poopington the Third if you like. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my name. Yeah, I mean, I'm 99%. Yeah.
At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Take a closer look.
Who do you think it's supposed to be?
Think back. deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
I love that. It's so cute. So it's like, hey, remember what you used to look like? And then we like create what we used to look like. So the Dark Souls 2 character creator is pretty much like the Dark Souls 1 character creator, except there's like more opportunity, I think, with this game to make a hideous monstrosity. So I'm going to have a play, and then of course I'll cut it all because I don't think you need to see the process, and then we'll just go to the end. I do just want to talk about classes in this game. It is mostly the same as Dark Souls 1 and like Demon Souls and like Dark Souls 3, and yeah, but like it's just worth sort of giving a few of them just a quick once over. You will probably tend to have a character that you just like to play in an RPG. Like for example, I love playing as a sorcerer. Sorcery in this game is kind of underwhelming, if I'm honest. It's I did try like a pure like sort of sorcery only build at this game, and it was just I just never really felt like I ever got truly like super powerful. However, you do have the ranged advantage. A lot of stuff in this game really hex you up. Dark Souls 2 is quite infamous for its really random hitboxes, like not so much delayed attacks, but like lingering hitboxes, that sort of thing. Like you can dodge and still get hit by something in this game. It's kind of more on that to come. So just having the advantage of range, like with a sorcerer or with an offensive cleric, or in fact which one starts with the bandit, like starts with a bow. It does have that advantage, although it never really seems to do tons of damage. Just bear that in mind. Because then that would be way too OP. The swordsman starts with 2 swords. This is worth pointing out. Dark Souls 2 has a mechanic called power stancing. So that is when you dual wield, so one in the left hand, one in the right, 2 similar weapons, like weapons of the same class. So for example, although one of these is a curved sword and one of them is a straight sword, they're both in the sword class, so they can be power stance. Power stancing is so cool in this game. It does a lot of damage, a lot of poise damage, and it's just, I love it. It's a really, really cool thing about Dark Souls 2. So if you are coming into this game late, like you are, maybe I inspire you to play it. I implore you to try out power stancing. They did eventually bring it back for Elden Ring, which I was super excited about, but they dropped it for Dark Souls 3, which I was kind of confused about. What else could we point out? I guess your knight, decent armor. You want to 2-hand that broadsword. Everyone starts with life gems. Life gems, again, we'll go more into that in a bit, but that's like you got a slightly different form of healing in this game. Explorer is worth pointing out because, as you'll see, the Explorer starts with like a lot of items. It's actually quite a good class to start with, but you only start with like this little dagger thing. So you will need to find a better weapon like pretty quickly. You get a magic res ring, you get like pots to throw, that's like a magic grease, prism stones, luck stones, repair powder, and a Pharos lockstone. And also your helm, this like explorer helm with the monocle, that has like an innate like sort of ability. It gives you like increased item find. So that's actually a really good character to start with, if that sort of appeals to you. Deprived, nothing much more to say about Deprived. This is your level 1 character. The character that I advise, the character that we're going to do for the walkthrough and that I advise starting with is actually the cleric, right? Hear me out. Our plan is, what we're going to do is we're going to power stance, and we're going to power stance maces. Because in my opinion, it is a really, really powerful build in this game if you do it right. So we're going to start as a cleric, which has a decent starting stat in health. Not too good at endurance. We're gonna need to like pump that up a little bit. And also strength is okay. Like strength is pretty good. Faith is great. We're gonna have faith as like a secondary sort of healing method, just like we did with Dark Souls 1. And then eventually we won't need that, but it will be really helpful at the start of the game because we start with a chime and with a heal spell. But yes, starting with this mace is really important because you can buy a mace quite early on, and we are gonna do that so we can get 2. But there is an area that we're going to go to right at the start of the game that is really hard with like slashing weapons like a sword, but it is so easy with a mace, and I just think it's a really, really good start to Dark Souls 2, starting with a cleric. So that's my little piece that I wanted to say on the classes, we can take a wee look at the gifts. In my opinion, Dark Souls 2 gifts are underwhelming. I don't know, I think gifts in every game are underwhelming. I don't, like, you've got Dark Souls 1 where you pretty much have to take the Master Key on subsequent playthroughs. Dark Souls 3, God, I don't even know what I pick in Dark Souls 3. Fire Gem. I don't know. Elden Ring, at least. Elden Ring has the cool, like, golden seed, like, you'd pick that, obviously. But yeah, Dark Souls 2, you get the option of Life Ring, slightly increases HP. When I say slightly, I mean it's, you would not notice. This is not saving you from death. Like, plus you can find this ring, like, pretty early on anyway. Human Effigy is actually a really solid choice. That is how we get human. That's how we get our full health bar. The more you die in this game, you can, like, die, like, again and again. If you die again and again, you lose a little bit of your max HP each time. So in a way, the worse you play, the harder the game gets. And that is, I think, one of the reasons a lot of people find this one a bit brutal. It's maybe because of that. So Human Effigy, you're going to need a lot of these if you are, let's just say Dark Souls is a challenge for you, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I recommend going with the Human Effigy just because you will need that to build your health bar back up, basically. Healing Ware's a very solid choice and one that I might actually pick. It gets you extra life gems. It gets you poison curing mosses. The other life gems you see at the end there, they're like more powerful life gems. They're like better. They get like bigger and more yellow. Homeward Bone does what it says on the box, same as Dark Souls 1. Seed of a Tree of Giants. This is a really, this is an online item, which you're not going to be using, unfortunately, because the Dark Souls 2 servers are still currently down at time of recording. They've been down for about a year now. So this is an online item. What it does is it makes, ken how, like, if you invade someone, you're sort of on the side of their enemies, and their enemies in their world don't attack you, but they do attack them. So if you use this seed as a host and you're getting invaded, it'll make enemies attack your invader. It's pretty cool, it's pretty trolly. Dark Souls 2 PvP was mint. It was great. But obviously you're not going to pick this because the servers are not even up, so. Bonfire Aesthetic, a mechanic in Dark Souls 2 that they, for some reason, just never brought back. What this does essentially is you've got different areas in the game. So, for example, the Forest of Fallen Giants, right? That's an area. The boss is the last giant, okay? If you kill the last giant, and then you Bonfire Ascetic, it turns the Forest of Fallen Giants into the New Game Plus version, which means the boss would respawn, and you could kill the boss again. It also means there's a lot of things in this game that only appear in New Game Plus. For example, there's some rings, spells, weapon, souls that you get from bosses that you only get from New Game Plus, that sort of thing. So Bonfire Ascetic is used for that. Again, a solid choice if you know what you're doing. This is probably not something you're going to pick on a first playthrough, but if you know what you're doing, you'll see a lot of people picking this. Petrified Something, it may be of use someday. Again, an okay choice, a kind of gamble. This is a smooth and silky thing that you can trade with the smooth and silky Seeking Crows, which are right at the start of the game, easy to get to. So you could pick this and end up getting like the Demon's Great Hammer and have like this great big hammer to start the game with, and that's pretty cool. But you could also trade it and get Sweet FA. So again, it's a gamble. I've picked it a couple times just for the crack, just to see what I get, and it's good fun. You could get something good. You could just get an infusion stone that you don't really use until mid-game, but yeah, that's what that does. So like I said, we might just pick the Healing Wares, just so we've got a few extra heals, but then I am a cleric, so I have got the heal spell. So yeah, we're gonna go with the Human Effigy. You can always have more Human Effigies, honestly. Okay, so now on from here, you can go across. If I go across, what is it? RS? How do I get across to body? Do I go up? No, we go back. Oh, this is dumb menu design. Right, we go back and then we go across to body, and I can do my character creation here. I'm just going to fast forward till we're finished. Right, this is me. I'm a grape. I'm a grape. So we're ready to go, so we can press start to finalize creation. This is my true self. I am truly a grape. I know I'm faceless on these videos, but actually this is me. I'm a grape. So yeah.
All people come here for the same reason. To break the curse.
You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance.
Well, you never know. Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom.
But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
It's a little too on the nose, I think. I did see what they were going for, like with the, yeah, you're gonna die, you're gonna lose your souls. I think, I don't know, Dark Souls knowing that it's hard just annoys me. So very quickly, we're just gonna go equipment. For some reason, this has like the chime in the left hand, the right hand as well as the mace, so we're just gonna swap that over. Get my mace out and my chime. So as you can see, we didn't start off with enough strength to one-hand the mace, as shown by the little X on the picture of the mace on our equipment screen. So we're gonna have to two-hand this, but that's cool. We were planning on two-handing it anyway, but it's just it's worth pointing out that if it has a little X and your attack animations are proper awkward, it means you can't use it, you need more strength. So we're gonna go up here, and there is a chest up here. In this game, don't hit chests more than once or very hard with a weapon, even if you think it might be a mimic, because it will break whatever's inside. It's worth pointing that out, but this isn't a mimic. I will tell you where the mimics are, don't worry. This is another human effigy, which is cool, so we've got 2 of those now. I don't think they don't go automatically on your bar. So if you want to put it on your bar, you just go equipment and then obviously select your wee belt here, and then you want to put it on your belt like that. The cleric that we've picked with, if you also, I mean, I will be operating under the assumption that you also picked it because my advice is stellar. So as for this sort of heavy cloak, but as you can see, a new addition in Dark Souls 2 over Dark Souls 1 is that it has in the bottom right corner an equipment percentage. So you want to stay under 50%. I mean, don't you dare go anywhere near 75. 28.4, it's decent, but if we want to be like super speedy, we can take the chest piece off because it's quite heavy, and then we go down to 9%. So I mentioned during the like class introduction that there is something a bit dodgy with dodging in this game. That is something that they tried to implement with adaptability, which is a new stat over here on the status here. You can see it just below Dex there, ADP. So this is adaptability. This increases your agility, which you can see in the 3rd column along, just near the bottom there, AGL. Now, the easiest way to describe this is your likelihood of getting hit when you roll, because in this game you can roll just fine, but if that number is too low, you will still get hit, and I'm sure you'll see me doing it because I've just been playing Elden Ring all week, so I'm not going to be used to this at all. Yeah, so we're gonna, because we are not really planning on investing too heavily into spells, we're gonna have to level this ADP up until about, I think we're gonna have to give it a decent amount because we're going to be a melee character, so we might need to get it to about 20 to get our agility to about 100. I think 105 is like, if you get to like 95, I think that's okay. I think 105 tends to feel pretty comfortable. Yeah, so we can just have that like increased roll. If you are a spellcaster and you're obviously you need attunement, you can see attunement there on the left. We've got 10 at the minute, which gives us 1 slot. Yeah, 1 slot. I can see that there, second column along. If you're a spellcaster, don't worry about leveling ADP because attunement also gives you agility. So I quite like that. Like they give you, basically attunement is the spellcaster stat. ADP is the melee character stat. You will need to level one of them unless you're some kind of god. So destroy this wagon, pick up a soul of a lost undead and a torch. Torches work kind of differently in this game. Well, I mean Dark Souls 1 didn't have like torches, did it? Didn't have torches, sorry. But I know Dark Souls 3 has torches. Anyway, torches work as thus. You go up to a bonfire, you toggle, light your torch that way. Torch has a timer on it, which as you can see is counting down now from 5 minutes. I'm going to save mine. I don't need a torch here. But you can use it obviously just to light these little... Hang on, let's just do this here. Just light these little plinths. Love the word plinth. It's a good word. To keep track of your progress through this area, if you want, we don't really need to, but you can. I mean, lighting things on fire is always fun, I guess. But there's one area in particular, 2 areas you will need a torch. So we're gonna have to save that. Like, don't just sit about and make a cup of coffee and have your torch out because they are pretty limited unless you go looking for them. This is Things Betwixt. I really like Things Betwixt. It's like a tutorial area. They've made it kind of... I don't really agree with the changes they made to it in Scholar of the First Sin, but I digress. It kind of works in the way of like some bits you come across and it's like clearly you have to come back here later. So the idea is you read these wee stones, sort of like you would read the messages in the Undead Asylum, and it sort of teaches you the game. Attack with RB. So I'm not gonna like read out all of these because I'm gonna assume that either you can read or you have a basic understanding of how these games work. So I'm not gonna read all the little tutorial things. One thing to point out is that jump is different in this game. If you're coming to Dark Souls 2 after playing Dark Souls 1, jump is different. So where you would like hold B and then press B again, they've changed that, in my opinion, for the better. Because now you can be like sprinting away from something, and if you press B again to roll and you ended up jumping, you'd often get hit. So them changing that and making it L3 to jump, in my opinion, is a good change. It took me a long time to get used to it though, so hopefully you are, you know, aware of that and that doesn't take you as long as it took me. It's something I think they added with 2. I don't know if this was in 1, but it's like a perfect hit or a partial hit is a thing now. So as you can see, I do more damage if I'm like right up against something, whereas if I'm sort of far away and I just hit something with the tip of my mace, it does less damage. This is a guy like basically just teaching you how to backstab, and the backstab animations in this game are so good. Parry animations are so good as well, but I never like quite grasped the timing. And the timing is like much more precise than 1. Here's a wee dagger here, so if you did start as a deprived, it gives you a wee dagger. This guy is going to show you just what it's like to have no ADP. So as you saw there, I rolled. I think I was at like the end of my roll when the arrow hit me, but still, yeah, get used to that. You can dodge stuff and still get hit by it. Arrows are particularly a problemo, but it didn't do that much damage to me. You could put your chest piece on, obviously, if... Oh, I rolled into it! I'm a pleb! Put your chest piece on, obviously, if you want more defense. But yeah, we got these nerds. Nerds that I'm trading hits with, apparently. There's life gem there. Oh yeah, I was going to explain life gem. So, look, I've got a life gem. I don't have an Estus flask. What happened to the Estus flask, Rachel? It's still about... We're getting it soon. When we go to Majula, we'll get it. But for now, we have life gems. So these work, like they are one use. They do not replenish when you rest at a bonfire. But you can buy them and you can farm them. And they are pretty good. They heal a decent amount of health. And you can use them while walking. And yeah, they're like a gradual heal. So they do work really well. Over here though, don't jump off because this is the nest. Smooth, smooth, silky, silky. So we don't have anything yet. I have passed something back in the previous area that was a smooth and silky thing that we could trade. We're going back there in a minute. We're just going to go to Majula first. But this is where you go. So we come here, we kick down the ladder, which allows us a shortcut back up here. When you do find more smooth, silky things, you can come back up this way. But if you drop down here where this little hole is, you can get this corpse as well, which has another soul on it. Second part, so that was the first part. Second part over here of the tutorial. I hope you're enjoying the video, by the way. I did a poll. If you're not a subscriber, welcome. You should subscribe. Hey, you can catch part 2 when that's out if you subscribe, did you know? But yeah, my subs like voted on like in a poll for like things that they'd like to see next, because I've just had a big break. I've moved house. And I was like, what do you want to see next? And they were like, a new walkthrough. So I hope you're enjoying. Have a good time. Here's a jump here. Pray don't be my first death. There we go. Amber herb. Another new item. Let's just get back over here. Amber herb, if you're from the United States. Amber herb, or amber herb, as you'd say. They replenish spell casts. So if you have 10 casts of fireball and you use 5 fireballs and you eat an amber herb, you get like 2 casts back. It's pretty cool. It makes casting like really fun in this game because you can just like infinitely cast. I think this is teaching you plunging attack down here. So as always, RB while falling to take him out pretty quickly. There's a door here. I'd like it. I think this door always looks really weird. There's just a PvP item in here, so like, I mean, kind of a waste of time grabbing it. Am I right? No servers. I must have picked like the skinniest character model. I wasn't really paying attention. I just wanted to be purple. But yeah, cracked red eye orb. They're for invading people. But obviously you can't do that with no online. So that was the second part of the tutorial done, and it wants you to go over here, right? And it wants you to take a little look over here and see a nightmare, a flash from the past, from Dark Souls 1. Can you believe they put basilisks in the tutorial area? What if all the noobs come across them? What if people who aren't ready for them come across them? Well, they won't, because they also put a statue here. So this blocks our way. We're going to need a special item to be able to get rid of that. And I hate this change. I really hate this change, because this used to be a nice little tutorial area. That was the third and final bit to round it off. And you came out down here. You can see like this ogre, this like hippo ogre by the water there. That coffin is kind of cool. It like changes the gender of your character. It's so random. I love it. But there's 2 ogres there. One is sort of hiding. You kill those 2, and then you kill a third one, which is back the way. It's before the witch's hut, and you get rewarded with well, can you call it a reward? You get rewarded with the ladle, which I think is quite fun. But yeah, they changed it and they blocked it off, which makes me mad. As an OG, it makes me mad. But we carry on. We carry on through here for the most beautiful hub, maybe. Can we call Majula the most beautiful hub? I don't know. I love Firelink Shrine, but wait for this, like. Just wait. I just love Majula, man. It's so beautiful. The sea. The music is gonna start up shortly. It's just so lovely, man. And just like in Dark Souls 1, as we meet NPCs on our adventures, we can send them back here and slowly start to populate like our world, and it's just so lovely. We're gonna quickly just go over here and like drop off the side here where this bush is, just onto this ledge here, and we're just gonna grab a couple things. Excuse me. grab a couple things here. We have the Morning Star and the Cleric's Sacred Chime? Chime? Where am I from? So Chime, obviously, we already have one of those. It's this thing. And the Morning Star is just a spiky mace. I don't have an affinity, personally, for the Morning Star. But again, if you started as a deprived, there's a weapon for you that you probably can't use yet, actually. What's the strength on it? What's the strength on it? 15? So what, you have 6 in all stats? Yeah, you can't use that yet, sorry. Never mind. Never mind. But yeah, well, it's there anyway if you like morning stars. This thing has binoculars on it, which is fun. You can gaze into the distance with those if we... also, binoculars are really good, actually. If you're a caster, binoculars you can use for... Wait, can you not put them on your bars? I thought they were a bar thing. They're a gear, that's it. They're a gear. Here we go. Binoculars you can use. I misclicked there. To like gaze into the, you know, the distance and that. So you can like aim at someone, like aim at this lassie. Don't hurt this lassie. But you could, and then like cast your spell with the other hand, and you know, it's a way of aiming. It's pretty good. It's decent. But yeah, here they're just for like gazing into the sunset. So there we go. Picked up a couple things there, and we've come to Majula. So we just went around where we would have just come out of this archway. So I just went the long way around. Here's the bonfire. This is the far fire. It's called. It's like the bonfire, the central sort of hub. So rest, I guess, if you lost some health. I accidentally healed myself, so not a big deal for me. You do not level up at bonfires anymore, but you can obviously attune spells. There's a new option here, burn. You can burn human effigies to prevent invasions for a little while. Again, don't waste them. There's no online. You can also burn other things that we don't have yet. Bonfire Ascetics is one of them. And the other one is a Undead Bone Ash, or whatever it's called in this game, that strengthens your Estus Flask. So we don't have those yet. Item box you get from the beginning, which I think is very nice. It's very kind, very nice quality of life upgrade. So you can, if you like to keep your bags tidy, you can go in here and just dump some things off that you know you're not going to use. Yeah, if you're that way inclined, you can do that. So first thing to do is to go down here and speak to this lassie that I told you that under no circumstances should you ever attack because she's precious and must be protected, okay? So talk to her.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
Estus Flask!
Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrin.
You may level up by the power of the Emerald Herald. So this is the Emerald Herald. Her name is... It's like Sheila or something like that. I can't mind. She is how you level up. Seek misery, seek the king.
Seek those, their soul.
Bear, seek, lest.
Seek, lest this.
You can also use her to upgrade your Estus Flask, so you need shards for that, which we haven't found yet, but there's one very early on. Yes, and level up. So, leveling up in this game, we're already level 14 because we started as a cleric, so I don't currently have enough souls to level up, but I find you get a lot of souls, like at the start of this game, like you get a lot, but I didn't get enough apparently. The main things that we're going to look to level up first of all are strength, so that we can power stance, endurance, so that we can hit again and again and keep rolling, and ADP to start. This is Blacksmith Lenigrast.
Who are you? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just help me open this door. I packed my tools in here, seeing it was vacant. But now somebody's gone and locked the door.
So he's the blacksmith. All his tools are in here and the door's locked. So we're going to have to try and find the key for that. I wonder where that could have been. It's a shame that he doesn't, you know, remember where it was. A couple things to pick up here. The main one, just around here. Oh, we'll grab this thing in this tent for... Oh, I'm chatting to the cat. Chatting to the cat through the wall. That's crazy. All right, pick up this life gem here. Yeah, there's a cat in this building that somehow I was able to chat to through the wall. That's fun. Sorry, was that rude? Did I walk away from you?
Oh. Who are you again? No, I'm not serious. You do have a rather pleasant scent.
She says we smell nice, which is nice.
Type I'm quite fond of.
She's so cute. A cute cat. Sweet Shalquar. Wait, maybe that's what I'm thinking. What I'm confusing the Emerald Herald with Shalquar, I think. This kitty, this pretty kitty, manages your covenants. So, covenants work a little bit differently in this game to Dark Souls 1. You can join one and then abandon it for another one, and then still like join the first one and pick up where you left off, that kind of thing. And you can do it just via this kitty catty here. And she keeps track of your ranks, basically. She's got a shop with some really important things in that we'll get to it throughout the course of the walkthrough. But it's worth pointing her out here in Majula. There's a great big gaping flipping toilet in the middle of the town. I don't know who built a town around this great giant flipping literal toilet. But it's there, be careful. But over here, come over here to the well. If you can kind of see over there to the right, there's a little black blob. Don't go near that black blob. It's an angry pig, and it's just a pain in the bum, so just don't bother. Hit this rock with anything, even your fists, and you'll get this little guy up here, which has an Estus flask shard, so need to pick that up immediately. This over here, the mansion, excuse me, is locked currently, but we will be able to find the key pretty early on, actually. So don't worry. However, this house over here is open. There's no door, so it's open. And it's got this guy inside.
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, Please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
I really, really like this character. Like, as a shopkeeper, he starts off, he's very, like, shy. He's like, oh, hey, I'd really, really be grateful if you subscribed to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoy the video. But then as you spend more and more money in his shop, he gets more inventory, and also he, starts to think he's a big deal, starts to become successful. However, I'm not going to be investing souls into him right away because you need 16,000 souls spent with him in order to unlock his secret final gift thing. But more on that, it's all to come in the walkthrough. But just to point him out, is that he's quite sort of sweet and shy at the minute. Up here, there's a ladder at the back of his shop, so you may as well go up here and steal all of his stuff. And this, I know what this has in New Game Plus Plus, but I don't know what it has in New Game. Oh, it's a Titanite shard, so great. Oh, well worth picking up. Hell yeah. But New Game Plus Plus, that becomes the butterfly armor set, which I'm a great big fan of that set because it accidentally poisons NPCs. Lots of fun times to be had with the butterfly armor. But I did mention when we were talking about the starting gifts that there are some things that only appear in New Game Plus and only appear in New Game Plus Plus. Very few things, I think, only appear in New Game Plus Plus. It's sort of like rings +2 type things that you'll find in New Game Plus Plus. There's a body, and I always forget which rock it's on. Is it this rock? This rock? Is it this rock? There's a body. I'm so sure of it. There's a body on the rock. Did I already pick it up? No, it's there. It's right. Oh, it's beside the blacksmith. Which has another soul and 3 life gems on it. So we have plenty heals to head to. Our first area in the game. I feel like I've like just hit you guys with like a lot of information, but I'm just really, really passionate about this game. And I'm really, really excited to be recording another walkthrough. Like, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We're gonna leave it there for now. Just leave you with a taste, leave you wanting more. Once again, subscribe to see part 2. And I don't know, just let's chat in the comments. Like, do you like Dark Souls 2? If not, why not? And if so, cool, bro. I'll see you in the next video.